And of course, here in the US, we've already covered that the Colorado snowpack is at 40 times the usual amounts after the dump that they received just a couple weeks ago on the summer solstice. So it doesn't quite look like summer in the northern hemisphere right now. And that's true in the southern hemisphere as well. Temperatures are lower than usual. There's people, unfortunately, perishing because energy prices are very high, and thanks to all the solar and alternative energy sources they've been trying to force upon people. So energy prices are rising, and old people are leaving their heaters off, and then they're dying. It's very sad. Also in Australia, I wanted to share the research from CF Jingara, who's posted in the Ice Age Farmer Discord. He's been doing great research, and you should absolutely check out his channel. He's noted that the snow events they're having in West Australia right now, and GFS is calling for more of this right now, are extremely rare, but they happen in times of solar minima. So I wanted to give a happy shout out to CF. Please follow his work. It's great to have some representation down under in the grand solar minimum community. Now I mentioned it's not just the cold, right? We've seen an incredible uptick in volcanic activity here at the beginning of July. And it's the seismic. We've seen earthquakes in Southern California. So the volcanic, the seismic, the cold temperatures because of the cloud cover and the galactic cosmic rays, causing also massive hailstorms. We've mentioned this ridiculous one that was pretty widely covered of 1.5 meters of hail hitting Guadalajara and sweeping cars down the street. Just insane. And obviously that's not good for crops either. But the hail events are happening all over the place. I'll go through a few quick ones here. Spain having hailstorms accounting for much damage to the crops, as well as I've covered some of the frost events that Murcia has had this year. Massive hailstorms hitting Italy as well, just in this last week, as well as in France. Greece yesterday had a crazy hailstorm that killed 6 tourists. I mean, these are epic hailstorms, the likes of which we read about when we look back at, for instance, Lewis and Clark's documentaries as they crossed North America during the Dalton Minimum. They talk about hailstorms that killed people. So these are crazy hailstorms, and there's been an uptick in these globally. So all of the effects that we would expect to see from these galactic cosmic rays increasing are all around you. You only need to know what to look for and then to pay attention. Here's another story from Edmonton, from Calgary, where hail is destroying the pea crops. And the cold temperatures obviously also mean that the growing season is shrinking on both sides, as the US is figuring out right now, but this was just another example of that. Poland, the berry season of honeyberries was a mere 2 weeks, when usually it's about 4 weeks. We just couldn't get our crop out. The climate is truly changing, and it's happening right before our eyes. But how is it changing? Is it the global warming? No, it's first we had a dry spring, then frosts, and then storms and hail. It's not conducive to growing crops. Now, when conditions are changing, that also means that the equilibria of our systems is changing, even those that are predators and prey out in the fields. So the balance between armyworms and whatever eats them is way off. And that's why we're having these massive invasions of armyworms that are decimating crops in China, and now, as of today, in Japan and Taiwan also. These things are eating through corn left and right, and that means that the corn production globally is going to be down unfathomably this year. The US and China, as I mentioned, account for 60% of corn production. So when they sustain such massive blows, this is a global event, folks, and we're just warming up.